Hey everyone, happy Wednesday to you. Just singing a little bit of Steely Dan. How are you? I am a fan of Steely Dan. Got to see them many times before Walter Beck passed away and went on to the other side, and may he continue to make fabulous music. So, hey everyone, how are you? Shoots for par. How you doing? And much favor to you. As I put right here, much favor. I invoke favor upon all of us, and I'm going to continue to speak it over all of us. Listen, a lot of us have been stolen from. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you think about all the things in your life that were taken from you, and that covers a full gamut. And some of it was unbeknownst to you by the unseen. Well, we caught them. And I go by the law that they're under. They have to return sevenfold what has been stolen. So this is how we're going to approach this. Anything that has been stolen in your life, anything that has been broken in your life, think about all the broken relationships. Think about all those things, the broken opportunities, the broken dreams. Well, you see, I believe as a man speaks from his heart, so it is, calling those things that be not as though they are. So what I'm saying to each and every one of you, may there be nothing missing, that which was stolen be returned, and nothing broken. That which was broken, may it be made new in your lives. So there you go. That's the way I look at it. So hello, moderators. How the heck are you? Hey, Brian, got great programs over there, Brian. I'll tell you what, get you out there a little bit more. You're doing some great work. Franny, how are you? Good to see you. And Jerry and Barry and everyone else. So, yeah, we were going to have a special guest. Just a matter of logistics. We'll get it worked out. We may end up having to record a program, but nevertheless, we will get it done. So, real quick, tomorrow night, I have my normal Thursday night show, the Steiger Perspective, over at artistfirst.com. We're going to be talking a lot more about what we're about to be talking here. And as well, artistfirstnetwork.com, I think is the website. They're going to be doing an all-day Steiger Perspective marathon. I'll just simply invoke favor in every one of those people. I mean, folks, if you want to do I think it's I don't know if it's a 20-hour, 24-hour, whatever it is. So thank you, Artist First Network. And it's a great place to go to for good freedom of voice and thought. We're coming to a time, folks. We are already there. It's not coming, it's here. We have surrendered our sovereignty to that which we have created. It's here. And what I mean by this is the integration of AI, robotics, robots, artificial life beginning to take a bipedal form. Now, you can say it's just circuitry software and machine parts. Yeah, that's you. That's me. We're just in a different form, that's all. They're already developing artificial skin that has greater sensitivity than ours. It's already here. And as a philosopher, you find yourself looking at things completely different. It used to be, for myself, I just took things at face value. You know, there was a time when I used to say, well, if it's not written in the Bible, then it doesn't, and it's meaningless. Yeah. And I think about the decades that I lost. And there was a time when I almost mourned that time. But unbeknownst to me, while immersed into that, there was things happening that I was unaware of. We can say, I like to use the metaphor code activation. Something happened. And as I now look back on those precious decades, folks, no matter where you are in the decade count, when you start passing 30, as the famous line of Jean-Luc Picard said, I sense I have fewer days ahead of me than those behind me. Now, Jean-Luc was, of course, facing the Borg. But I ask, are we all not facing the Borg? They're here. Assimilation is underway. It's happening. Many of us are fighting the assimilation. Let's hope that the words are not true. Resistance is futile. Now, assimilation, it is. And you have to admit, you stand back, it's pretty damn impressive. I mean, think about what's happened in the last score. How many of you know what a score is? I'm watching the chat room, so I'm 30 seconds in the future for you. So now you ought to be hearing my question. So think about this. A score is 20 years. In 20 years, we've seen the rapid assimilation of the computers, of the robots. How we miss this, I'll tell you how we miss this. And when I tell you, it's going to snap. The epiphany is going to go, oh, wow, yeah, we did miss it. We bought into this thing back in the Industrial Revolution. That's how long ago it started. It was called automation. Automation was designed to get maximum production out of a human being. And when we reached the zenith of that automation, the most that humans could endure, physically, mentally endure, this thing that I have spent the last 3 years on this channel documenting began to move the progress forward. You think about the people like Henry Ford, others. Michael Dale, had the privilege of meeting Michael many times. And Michael Dale, for many of you who don't realize what Michael Dale did, he revolutionized the manufacturing process for technology. And every one of the companies remember how many of you remember Compaq, HP, all of these early players, Gateway, just to name a few. And it was all about under the guise of automation. maximize profit, have as little cost that you have to expend for manufacturing, automate what you can, replace a machine with a human to continue to maximize profit. And here today, we can't stop it. Let me just show you how far this has gone. I have a story. So look at this, folks. If you don't think that we're in the midst of the single largest revolution of our species, we may be facing the same thing Cro-Magnus, Neanderthal, Denison faced. We now have a superior life form. It's even getting to the plants. There's nothing that's not being affected. Now, this tells you how serious the problem is. Wall Street Journal. So there's less and less tuna being eaten. Now, I don't know if this is the full reason on this, but it seems that virtually no millennials own can openers. And when a random group were chosen on street, what we call those immediate focus groups, most millennials didn't know how to operate a can opener. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Now, when I talk about the transhumanism, folks, man has Bluetooth compass implanted in his chest and claims he can create a new human sense. Well, when the pole flips, I guess he'll be the first probably to sense it. But think about what this is in the bigger picture. Yeah, here's one. This is the one I was trying to tell you about. Robots join students in Boston high school classroom. Now, this robot, humanoid, I can't call them robots anymore. If the UN gets its way, you won't be able to call them anymore. You're going to have to call them by what they want to be called by. Are you believing we're having this freaking conversation? Yeah. Don't tell me that us so-called fringe thinkers and philosophers are way out there. Baby. We're looking back at this thing and we're going, yeah. Y'all go ahead and have your little party there. Me and my compadres, we're moving on. Folks, this is, you see, what this thing does is that it learns from the human subjects around it. I don't know. Anyone finding a problem with this? I'm going to do more stories on this because it is deserving of more. How about this one? So we're advancing so quickly in the science of the brain, the mind, dare I say, soul, maybe spirit. So they can now map out thought. They can make it tangible. Now you think about this. Imagine a psyops using AI technology, where I, whoever I is, now has a process of actually seeing what you're thinking. You know how they're doing it already? You're teaching it. We have a new 65-inch television. And I'm going to tell you this, folks, it's listening to us. I have no doubt it's watching us. How do we know it's listening to us? We've been doing a little experiment. When I told my wife that I found what I thought was the package in the all new televisions come with it. And when we were out away from any electronic device, including our phones, I said, let's do an experiment. Let's start talking about an ad, but we don't have time to look at the product. And we're going to do this just in casual conversation without anything on, or so we think. It's happened now 3 out of 3 times. I or her or both, I don't use Facebook, but it gets into my email box. Now it's in my blacklist, but she gets it on Facebook. We don't have any of the Alexa devices. We turn Siri off. Yeah. So one last one. Oh, here's one, guys. For all you millennial dudes, man, you guys are so screwed. Your masculinity is going, and now your penis is shrinking. It's the freaking end of the world. I mean, come on. In a reality where size matters, okay. So we'll just stop it right there. We got to keep it clean here, but yeah. Tell me. We're seeing wholesale changes, folks. I don't know. I'm sensing, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just the empath thing, but someone is laughing your ass off. Maybe it's a couple of them, but boy, I mean, it just waved over me. So that was just funny. So yeah. And now, what Patrick Garrett and myself are doing, this was just, I was in a meditation about 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's all here, documented. Why is no one talking to the planets? Excuse me, folks. The air is dry here today, and they are chemtrailing. Woo! I was outside for a walk, and holy crap. I mean, the sky should be clear. It's rather milky. So, anyway. So this vision, this thing we're doing. Excuse me. I made a audio recording of it. I've shared it with a couple of people. I'm not sure I'm going to share it, for the world just yet. But let me tell you what's happened. Had the damnedest dreams. I mean, they were so spatially different. Yeah, Adley, you'd be right. you ever had the sense that you couldn't define space? As a child, I remember that I used to be immersed into this place. Colors were alive and I could actually feel it, but not body-wise. And I just remember as a child, it felt this is where I sense that I came from. Now, but my point is, I couldn't define it by three-dimensional terms. And that's what these dreams were like last night. So here I am. I get up early. I enjoy getting up early. It allows me a lot of time to do my meditation. It gives me into, I think, a proper energy flow. Anyway, so get about this, get down into my office and make my tea. And coming along, I sit at my desk, yeah, going right to town. And all of a sudden, I have this, I call it meditation. It almost became a trance. And so allow me to digress. Yesterday, everyone saw the show. You could go back, go look at that video at 4104 when Patrick is talking to Neptune, I believe it was. And you can see, folks, it was a dull, intense pain right here. Literally, you can go back and look at it. And the psychic impression I got hit with, I can't shake it. I can't shake it. It's like it's indelibly tattooed upon the consciousness of my awareness, if that makes sense. And I was restless yesterday evening. And even Lynn said, what's up with you? And I said, I can't shake this. I said, it's like I'm still connected. I said, and, of course, she's looking at me and she's saying, do you think you should take a break? And I looked at her and I said, well, I was trying to take a break, but failed miserably on that. So got back into my office and began to just close my eyes, try to get, the great thing I'm learning is I can control my emotions. I can control the energy. You just get focused. This intrusive little bastard. So black holes begin to look into it. Now, some controversy, listen, I don't care about the controversy. I'm going by what I saw. So that's the closest thing I can come to it. I got some visual representations, as you can see what the graphic that I changed this to, that kind of similar to what I saw, except it was more intense. Anyway, so legends have it in many different books, the Colburn Bible, the Bronze books, the Christian Bible, the Hindu Bible, the Muslim Bible. They all talk about wandering stars. Now, one translation is Nibiru, meaning wandering star or planet. Another term is rogue star or a rogue planet. Now, we don't think we're so, when we perceive other things, we measure it to ourselves. And if it doesn't measure to what we perceive things to be, then either we reject them. Now, if you're what I call waking up ascending, you consider all things. I call it using the sifter. If you bake, you know what I'm talking about. If you have a flour sifter, well, flour's already refined, but as you know, bakers, there's even a more refined flour. And so I just weigh everything out there. So imagine a race, a species of beings far more superior than us humans. So now I bring you up to this morning. I'm sitting literally here. The other, I have an extended desk where I do writing. And this meditative state came over my consciousness. And the first thing I began to think about was Jupiter's statement about it's preparing to ascend. Now, I've been meditating on that. What does that mean? I don't think we can even begin to fathom what that means. We don't understand them. They understand us. Our lifespans are but a flash. Now, Earth is supreme in rank, but as she is not without her equals. So this almost became like a trance. Now, I made an audio recording and I listened to it. It still was very interesting. So here's what I picked up in a nutshell. They are a species of sentient beings. Their numbers are in the trillions. I'm speaking of planets. I'm speaking of stars. And then they are grouped with an even higher ranking ascended beings. We call them galaxies. Getting to the planets. What I got today was that planets are like communities. They find themselves a leader, and by free will and choice, align themselves with that energy. That's what solar systems are. At least that's what they were telling me. Each planet is of itself its own life force. And when it becomes part of a community, and there's many solar systems we're discovering that fit this perfectly, they become bonded to one another. There is I don't know, intellectual bond. I don't know. We can't comprehend these beings. I got the sense they form a council. It came to me that they're still mourning the murder of one of their fellow kind. We call it the asteroid belt. But I got the overwhelming sense that this planet was killed. I got the impression that Mars came to its defense, but it was overpowering. I mean, I got that one very, very strong. And you know, I'm writing these down. And if I make the audio recording public, you'll hear me because this is what I'm literally writing down. It's almost like almost automatic writing. It's a weird thing because you just come. So they mourn for their fallen. I don't know. comrade. I don't know. That may even be, such a diminishing term, but they do. Because man, God, we forgot. We have vague legends. Tiamat. I mean, the Sumerian tales. There are other tales that speak of something. When this planet was murdered, it threw the whole solar system into a separate community. There is a division. We call it the inner planets, the outer planets. This I really, in fact, when I listened to it, I was feeling the pain. They all said in unison that they were attacked. And that's what the planets and the sun said. They were attacked. Every one of the planets and even the sun are in pain. Great sorrow, overwhelming sense of sorrow. You see, these are long-lived beings. What they were showing me, and folks, are just any of you who know what I'm talking about. What we see are just their mental flashes. To be ascended to a planet, some humans will get there. Some of us will ascend to planets. Planets are being born all the time. Now, let me tell you how it's both a reward and a challenge. A planet contemplates for billions of years. Billions. They're a life force unto themselves. They create their own environments. They're ascended beings. I think some of us will eventually get there. There's trillions of them. That means mankind can't even begin to fathom. It could be every one of us, but nevertheless, you are alone, but you're alone to think about the universe. Think about it. And that's what I got this sense. There are wars. They have a hierarchy. Each solar system, I was shown, have different sets of laws. That would make sense. We're finding, for instance, on TAPIS, that whole solar system has a different set of laws. And we're trying to measure solar systems to what we see. We haven't gotten to that point yet, apparently, to understand these are living sentient beings. And they have a hierarchy. They have a plan. I don't know what the plan is. But they have a plan. And why wouldn't sentient, magnificent, ascended beings, they have a long time to think. They communicate. We know that. We can measure the frequencies. We can listen to them. We did listen to them. No different than dolphins, whales, bats, snakes. They communicate. They shine. They got the shine, baby. this group of wandering, and allow me to show you visually what I'm talking about. So as much searching as I did, this is about the closest I could come up with it, but it's not like this. There is chaos around this thing. Now, I found another one but this doesn't even begin to adequately depict what I saw. But I looked at many different artist concepts. This kind of gives an idea of this chaos that I saw. It was just plain chaos. This to a degree, but the background didn't know that you can't see this thing. Now, I don't know. Is it just going to show up? Earth, with our technology, we only see 3% of what's out there. That means 97% we don't see. We have no idea what's coming, what's going. Yeah. There was, like I said, it wasn't bright light, but it was the same type of chaos. I don't know how else to express this. This was a little bit more accurate of what I was seeing, what I saw. Call it telepathically. I don't know. It got there. It didn't feel good when it came in, but what am I supposed to say about it, right? I don't know. Hard to say. So these rogue darkness voids, they attack solar systems. They're rogue. Now, I got the sense that I think we may be heading towards another one. I think that whatever came through, and if it was Tiamat that was sacrificed, murdered, that's what they're saying. That was the word I got. Well, that tells me that they could come back again. As I got the impression is that these are sentient beings. I mean, we would try to define it black, right, light, right, wrong, good, evil. They don't play that game. This is a different thing, even beyond our comprehension at this point. I hope they teach us. They want to teach us. I got the sense that the elders, the four gas giants, that's what I had the sense. They're looked on as elders. Think they want to teach us a few things. So, I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk about this because I hope the rest of you begin to do this. Now, I didn't even use the pendulum. I was literally sitting at my freaking desk. And, maybe there was a connection. I don't know. So my wife said, take a break. I was like, I was doing it. Yeah. So we are a community of empaths here, intuitives, psychics. Yeah. Gifted. Dedicated. So it's something I think we're all going to find. I think this is going to be one of the group discoveries. I'm telling you, what we're doing, folks, is going to go around the world. Patrick and I were exchanging emails, and the notoriety of what this is happening, it's going everywhere, folks. Mark my word, as this continues to grow, we'll see the viewing audience going, no one's doing this. Now, Edgar Casey, there have been others. I think they tapped into the same thing. I really do. I think they knew this. And of course, the standard, those who are in power right now, the status quo, doesn't like this idea. I think they've known about this. It's said that Saturn is a place where I guess the unrehabilitated souls go to. I'll be curious to find out. I don't know if that's true. There is a book that I've shown you, and we'll get into it as well. It's called The Rite of Saturn, where the Elohim said that they live. So that tells me right there alone that, we've suspected it. And again, we need to begin to seek out what this planet was, what happened. I mean, we see the evidence of it. I mean, come on, we got a crime scene here. Why doesn't science look at it as a crime scene? The cockamamie ideas that I've seen out there so far, the science community, I mean, whatever the hell they're smoking is obviously, man. Yeah, we got to figure it out. I don't think until we get the full key, and I don't know, we may not have time enough. Who knows? But I do know this. There's more to this story that we need to find out about. And the problem that we have right now, most of it's so embedded into religion that, again, it's going to have to take someone to really sift out, and let's find out if we can find the true substance to it. And maybe it's breadcrumbs scattered throughout. And then again, maybe we're on very dangerous territory here. Hey, Mr. Spaceman. They're probably looking down and going, oh, crap. They're figuring it out, man. How much longer are we going to let this go on? I'll do a little JT, James Taylor, I'm a steamroller baby. Born to steamroller all over you. So that's the way I look at it. We're going to figure this thing out. And I think as we get better, now I know there's some people who are skeptic about, what Patrick is doing. That's cool. We're working on that. So you can see that ain't nothing being fixed. People say, well, how can he, figure out these words when it's moving that fast? It's like riding a bike, folks. I wrote to someone, you ever work in Excel spreadsheets? Now, if you're a master at it, you know that you can do shortcuts, formulas, you can create your own shortcuts, you can do things in Excel not even the novice would begin to understand. And I ain't going to take the time to try to teach you. And that's my response. Patrick's been doing it for a long time. Why wouldn't you get better? If you're an intuitive, an empath, you see, isn't it odd how we want to make exceptions for some, but then limit it to others? You can't do that. It's no different than using divining rods, using tarot cards. It's no different. It's just a different form of communicating, understanding. And folks, we all know this. Humans are the worst at communicating. We suck. Not even when we talk can we do it adequately. We certainly can't do it writing. And I think AI has figured that out. I mean, seriously, how long would it take artificial intelligence to look at our species and go, those people are bat crap crazy. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Hell, this will be easy to take them over. We'll have them at no time reduced to slaves. We'll have all of us in their factories. We'll have all of them doing their banking. We'll have all of them doing their medical. We'll eventually govern them. Don't know. So we got one artificial intelligence that we all have to agree is here, but yet it's preposterous to think that a planet is a sentient, intelligent being capable of communicating. A sun. Sure the hell is going to outlive you and I. Anyway, so that was today's podcast. I hope you found it enjoyable. But seriously, it's everywhere. It's not make-believe anymore. It's everywhere. If we had this thing figured out, there would not be disease. There would not be inequality. There would not be hunger. There would not be starvation. There would not be class warfare. There wouldn't be oppressive governments. No. We're doing it the same we've always done, and we're going to get the same results. And I think it's going to get compounded. Because if what I saw is in fact potentially, well, Brian Jones, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very kindly. We've got to rethink this, folks. We've been approaching this wrong. The metaphysical community, the spiritualist community, all the communities have gotten it wrong. Because if any of us had gotten it right, we would be seeing outstanding revival of change. No. Anyone looking at the current state in American politics is horrified to see what's happening. I don't care what side of the coin you're on. It's a horror show, and it's only going to get worse. And everyone's holding their breath that Russia or China don't go and do something. I don't know. It's just not working. And I don't know about you folks. I'm just going to be extremely candid here. I haven't seen any God of the world, none, come up with a solution. None. And every religion I've studied, it seems like they're all into world domination. Every one of them. You either convert or you're going to be kicked out. That's a sick mofo, man. That's a sick mofo way of thinking. That's the problem. It doesn't solve a goddamn thing. And they call us crazy? We're standing back looking at them going, yeah, you can call us anything you want, baby. Because we can see you and we can see what you're doing. You're crazy. You're insane. Whew. All right. Boy, I'll tell you, is the energy changing? I think this is, well, I don't think we've even begun to understand energy waves. We sure the hell don't understand gravity. We don't even understand how things and our masses out there, everything that we look at into the universe doesn't make sense. Not enough gravity, not enough matter, not enough mass. How does all this? And you're going, okay, there's got to be a better way. Got to be a better way. I think that we should go to those who are much more long lived. I think that many of the ancient ancestors, the true human beings, I think they knew. I think that throughout our short span of time, there have been those among us and those of other genus of our species who probably were very much connected to these planets. And I don't know, one of the questions that was asked, and we're going to get it asked as well, is that I want to know, do they have another name? I mean, we're using names that were invoked upon past cultures. I question, is there a proper name that they prefer to be called by? Could you imagine that this small group goes out there and starts talking to the planets and announces to the world, we've been calling them the wrong names? They're liable to lock us up. Oh, my goodness. Well, if you stuck around this long, you've gotten yourself a treat. Folks, I appreciate you. Let me just invoke favor upon all of you. Again, may there be nothing missing, nothing broken found in your lives, folks. And we're having fun doing this. It's heavy topics, granted. But, many hands make a light load of a heavy object. So, I don't find it to be all that burdensome. Do you? It's certainly good mind coitus. Nothing wrong with mind coitus. All right, folks. Yeah. That's great, Kaz. That's great. Good to see you, dear. We need to be invoking favor in all of them. And write me back. Let me know as we as we meet. We'll meet tomorrow. Let me know. I get. There's times when I start thinking of them, the planets, and I wish them well. I wish healing to them, favor, and I acknowledge them. And it's almost like I'm getting this feedback, a biofeedback. And it's pretty cool. It really is. All right, folks, have yourself a great day. You've honored me by being here. Thank you for your presence. I know your time is as valuable because it's your time, and thank you for gracing me with your presence. You're certainly making my journey much more enriched, and hopefully I'm returning it back. All right, be good to yourselves. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Make sure you keep on finding Brian over at Milky Way Weekly, Jeff Doherty, and all the rest of you that got your channels. I tried to see what's going on, Kindred Spirit, and the rest of you. I just appreciate all of you guys. And listen, any of you want to come on, write me, email me. We'll get you on. You've got something to share. And this is a community platform. So come on. It ain't bad. Ask anyone that's been on. They've all laughed and had a great time, So let's do it. All right, folks. I appreciate you. Namaste to all of you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. Besides that, who else will be? All right. Bye-bye.